Hey YouTube, Za'qul here, and today I'm going to be doing a Hearthstone deck primer of Curse Warlock. One of my favorite decks after the most recent nerfs, where Control Warrior and Fellow Demon Hunter got taken down a bit. So this is going to be a brief guide of Curse Warlock with a few games at the end. If you just want to learn how to play the deck, you can just watch the beginning. If you want to see just the games, come to the end. There should be timestamps in the description, and yeah, if you guys want a link to the deck, I will also put that in the description. Alright, let's get going. Alright, so an important thing to note that for most Hearthstone decks, the best way to figure out how to play it is to figure out how it wins. So there's two ways this deck wins. Against control decks, your main goal is going to be to combo them out. There's two different combos in this deck, which I will go into in the next slide. And basically you just want to hold out, don't let them kill you, and eventually you're going to have a huge time of burst damage where you just finish them off in one go. This is especially important against control warriors where they can get a ton of health, so you want to make sure you can deal enough damage in one go to knock them out. Against aggro and mid-range, just control the board and go for the kill when available. So ideally you're just going to try to keep control of the board, heal up, make sure you have enough damage, and then when able, you're going to know how many curses you need to do to kill, usually 1 or 2, and then you're just going to go for it, and that should be enough to win you the game. So before we move on, there's one important thing to note. You should download a deck tracker. This is super important for keeping in mind how many Abyssal Curses you have played. So, to the right of the screen, you can see how many curses they have in hand and how many are already played. If it's gray, it means it's in hand. If it's lit up, that means they've already played it. There will, instead of the gift, it will say like a count, so you can also know how many they have. That's very important to know to do damage calcs, to make sure you know what's lethal, what's not. Alright, so now we're going to break down the combo. There's two different combos. There's the board-based combo with Brann and the Cultists and Zola. This can give you a lot of curses. It's very good if your board's empty, and it's very, very efficient. And what's nice about it is it doesn't require any removal spells like Drag Below, so it's very easy to pull off late game when you have just these cards sitting in your hand to win the game with. It usually takes 2 turns because you're going to Zola your cultists, so you're going to get 2 more curses the turn after, but usually that's going to be enough to get, because essentially you just want more curses because each curse deals exponentially more damage. So this is just how you get the most curses available. It can be noted that Zola can be replaced with a second cultist if 4 curses is lethal, which oftentimes it can be. So sometimes you just need 4 curses. Brann, Sira'kess, you're done. The more complex one is the second spell-based one, where you have Tamsin Roame, 2 drag belows, and Ring of the Tides. So your Ring of the Tides is going to copy a drag from below, so for 10 mana you can cast 6 drag belows. Of course, important to note for each of these combos, you need to make sure that your opponent has enough room in their hand to take all the curses, or else you will just be getting rid of them for no reason. Not for no reason, you will still, each one that doesn't go in hand still counts for the damage. So even if they've only got a 4 and a 5 and you play number 6, your next one that you play will be 7. It doesn't just go back to 6. So you do get the damage ramp, but missing out on those big damages are very important to hit. Sometimes you can get around them with certain control decks if they have a full hand and you need to do stuff, but for the most part you want to make sure you get that damage to get the most out of your curses. Important to note for the spell-based one, Queen Azshara needs to be played before you try combo off. So you need to get 3 spells and then cast, and then choose the Ring of Tides so that you can have a 3rd drag below for only 1 mana. Another important thing to note is that For this, you're going to need to kill some minions. This can be, of course, your opponent's minions, which is usually what it is, or if needed, you can also have your own minions die. You can have the last one target Tamsin, and I usually have some imps laying around from Tamsin Dreadlich, so you can just kill those. Also, important to note, sometimes you can do a smaller Tamsin combo where you just drag below twice to get some important damage for 6 mana. That's also useful. I usually do that with a coin. Sometimes doing it on turn 5 can make it so Tamsin might be able to live a bit, might survive a turn. Usually doesn't happen, don't give your hopes up, but sometimes just getting those 2 curses to ramp you from doing 1 damage curses to doing 3 damage curses is very important for later games. So usually if you're playing against like control, you're going to want the board-based one to finish the game, and then the bottom one is a bit more the burnish style, but if you need to get the most damage out, that's how you get the most damage for your 10 mana. But sometimes you just need Tamsin, drag below, free drag below. Sometimes that's enough. Alright, so now it's important to know how to survive against combo until you can combo. Basically, you're playing Warlock. You use your control pieces, and don't be afraid to use a curse card if needed. So, your Abyssal Waves are mainly there as board wipes, but they're also curse pieces. They're very important. That's going to be mainly what ramps up your damage, but don't be afraid to use your Drag Belows if you need to against an aggro deck, or your Cirque Stags if you need to against a control deck and you just need to get cards out of your hand sometimes. These are all fine. You don't have to worry about it. Mainly against aggro though. For against control decks, you usually want to keep at least one of the combos available. It's very important so you know you have enough damage. But against aggro, you mainly want to control the board. An important thing to note is that you can't win a game if you're dead, so don't worry about finishing the game. Worry about surviving. Your curses will be lethal eventually. Alright, so I hate to talk about this, but the deck is beatable. There are some very important things to note about some certain strategies you can use against Curse Warlock to make it easier to beat. For one, if you're a control deck, keep your hand full. Ideally, you want 9 cards in your hand. So this means that you only do 1 curse at a time, and it doesn't really matter. A very important thing with this full hand strategy is if you have a curse with only 1 turn left, it will not burn the top card. How the curses work is they trigger before your card draw, so you will actually discard the curse before you draw the card. So important thing to do is if you have 9 cards in your hand, you get 1 curse, it fills up, you burn 1 card. So what? That's fine. Pretend it was at the bottom of your deck, you weren't going to draw it anyways, doesn't matter. So once you do that, you can then come to the next turn with a curse with only 1 turn left. That means if they try to put any more curses in your hand to try to burn your cards again, the curse will go away before the cards. It's a very important thing to do. In particular, it's easier to do when you have only the 1 damage or 2 damage curses where you can afford to take the extra damage. When it gets to the 6 and 7s, then you kind of have to play them. Another thing, aggro decks can usually race this deck. If you kill your Curse Warlock opponent fast enough, you're probably safe. But be wary of Abyssal Wave and boards with 4 health. It deals 4 damage to everything, so it's very important if they get a really good Abyssal Wave, it is devastating. If you have a giant board with 3 health and 4 health and they just Abyssal Wave you, there's a good chance you're not coming back from that game. Especially if they've been controlling the board with the rest. One thing that's really good is Divine Shields. Divine Shields make Abyssal Wave feel awful, because they usually have to find a way to remove the Divine Shield before they wave, or they have to wave into a Divine Shield, and they're wasting all that damage. But an important note, 4 health is also the breakpoint of Drag Below, so it's important to note that 4 damage can be used with like Tamsin to get like a bunch of 4 damage off. So your 4 health is a really important breakpoint, and I think now Shield Shatter is also 4 health, so important to keep an eye on those anyways. If you really just want to just ruin this deck, play Quest Hunter. Quest Hunter is really hard to beat because the quest counts the curse damage. So you just have to so your opponent just has to wait for you to complete their quest before they can actually try to curse you. And by the time you get your quest done, you just have so much more damage output than they have curse cards. But if you're trying to beat Hunter as a Curse Warlock, don't play into their quest line. Just wait. Use your removal on your own stuff to heal. Also important to remove your own stuff because some of their spells that deal damage can only target minions. So don't give them stuff to play into. Just use your own removal to heal yourself so you don't die as fast. And then maybe try to assemble a combo. Not too sure. This is a tough matchup. Alright, let's play some games. Alright, this is interesting. So, if this is another Curse Warlock, then this will be a very interesting game. Curse Warlock mirrors are really interesting to see being played, and if I can get this going, that seems awesome. If this is Murlocs, that's an aggro deck. The only problem you have with them is that their Murlocs can get really big, so you want to use your entitled customers when you have a full hand to make sure you can clear all their stuff. Also, your twisting others are important. Alright, so I'm guessing this is a Control Warlock mirror.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Alright.
Priceless.
So let's tap, do this, get our card draw, play our own Mistress.
Trust me.
Alright, looks like I was right. Oh, here's a question. Do I just try to... Alright. I'm gonna try out Commander Ulthok. I'm gonna try him out. He seems pretty cool. And what's nice is if he tries to play into this, we have our entitled customer to kill anything he plays. And if he tries to fill our hand with curses, we've got 9 cards. So they're not going to be burning anything because we have 1 turn left in this curse. So there's 1 curse that he can get for me. Yep. Go ahead, play all those curses right into my thing.
Who here can spell Zinjari?
Now, School Teacher I used in an old version of this deck. I don't run it anymore because they recently nerfed his stats, which was really too bad, because that was the main thing I used him for, because he was a decent 4-drop, but now he just feels useless. There you go, he has to brand his own. He's got to Zola his own brand because he's realized that this was a bad idea. Alright. Let's see. So that looked like something. Like, that looked kind of interesting. And we're just gonna play this and wipe it all. So yeah, that's a cool thing about this deck. It doesn't take. It can do some pretty cool things. I'm guessing he is not running Ulthok, so we don't have to worry about that trap that we were able to get him on.
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
So it's important to note that he will not have as much curse damage as us. He's used his Zola already. Of course, the curse damage isn't everything in this matchup, but it's quite a lot of it. It's pretty important to get through. He's got 8. Can we get him to burn a card? I don't think we can. Alright, let's just tap. Do some bread baking. Heal the fool. We don't really care about damage. We've got plenty of healing. The main thing about this is trying to get that big combo burst kill. Now, the only thing I fear is that if he is running a ruined Mithril Rod, he might be able to kill us a bit easier. I think honestly this is probably a pretty good Gigafin. It might ban him to use a 4 damage removal spell, which is fine. We still have 9 cards in hand, so only burning 1, not that bad. Let's see what he does.
Pick me! Pick me!
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good get off of Naga Teacher. Yeah, the problem is I've never been able to get Drag Below off my school teachers. They've just never been able to come through for me. And I really don't need Dreaded Steed that much. It's not a great card in this deck. Alright, let's see, what do we burn? Alright, we burned our own Zola. That's kind of annoying. But there are 8 cards. Do we want to try to get them with a burn? So let's see, if we get them to burn something. If we can get there like Tamsin, we probably just win the game. So you know what, let's try it. Actually no, let's not. Not just because I messed up, but I don't think it's the right play. We need our burn damage here, so it's important to just get some curses in to make sure they slowly kill him. We do need to ramp up the damage. He is a few curses ahead of us. Yeah, he's a couple of curses ahead of us. Interesting. That's a very early Zillag. And now he's playing Brann. Okay, for Curse of Agonies. Interesting. Alright, let's see. What do we got? We can restore some health. Brann restore some health, maybe. We do definitely need to kill Brann. That's an important thing. Question is, do we tell customer?
This might sting.
I think what we do is Spice Bread Breaker to get the full 9. And then we entitle customer to get this board clear. Just to get as much healing as we can possibly get. And now we do have Sira'kess Cultist. We can do that twice. We did already lose our Zola, so this is the most damage we'll get from this. Of course, if they keep their hand full, that's going to be difficult to do. Ooh, interesting. They play a Blood Mage Thalnos. I also call it Blood Mage because the Death Rattle draw card is very risky. I have them for my treasure guards, but treasure cards you can almost guarantee that they'll get one. So, alright. Let's do some damage. And now this will burn 2 of his cards. Alright, that's not a big deal. Also not a big deal. I don't run the Ruined Mithril Rod. So, those weren't great burns for us, but it does him in a kind of difficult spot, because he kind of has to play those curses. They're too much damage right now. And he can kill my Brann, but he's still leaving some damage on board. And now my hand is empty, so the problem is, of course, he could try to fill my hand with curses, but if he does that, then he's not using his mana to get rid of his curses. Also important, get rid of the highest damage curse first. Don't get rid of your lower cost curses. Yeah. I bet you he was fine with taking 2 damage, but not fine with taking 4. So that's why he had to use his coin. And now look at this. We have a big old board of damage. And I think we're going to get some healing here. And then let's Tamsin to see if we can draw into the second combo to finish out this game. So sadly I can't get the deck tracker to work on my OBS, but I will say in the top left corner I can see that we've currently done 4 curses on him, so we just need a few more. So I'm really just looking for Tamsin to finish out this game. So let's see, 11 puts him within range of 2 Dry Blows kills. He is running a Ruined Mithril Rod. That's too bad for him. I'm pretty sure we're just going to kill him here. Assuming we don't die by Agnes. We don't die. Alright. Yep. He is dead. Boom. Second curse card. That's lethal. 6. Oh, I forgot. Forgot about the one that we did not get to play through. But that was an awesome game. Sadly, I didn't get the OBS recorder working the way I wanted to, but I'm definitely leaving that in.
Zola versus Tyrande.
All eyes shall be open.
Alright, so this is a priest. Alright. So by telling the card back, this looks like it is a priest. It's not a rogue. Priest is usually running a combo deck, so we probably just want to kill him pretty quick. This one could be tricky. If it's Quest Priest, we should probably be fine. Alright, that's what I want. Card draw and some Abyssal Curse stuff. Pretty useful. Oh, it's Shadow Priest! Alright. So this is an aggro. Okay, good. This is actually one to showcase. I might just include these 2 games. One control, one aggro. I think that will provide plenty of different situations to find yourself in. Alright. So, we'll deal some damage to ourselves because we mainly just want to draw cards. Against an aggro deck, we want as much options as we want, and they're not really threatening us on board, so I feel fine by just playing out some stuff. A big old taunt, help get in the way. Also draws us more cards. Hopefully we can get the spice spread for a ton of damage. Alright. Okay, I don't think I need to use spice spread yet, so let's touch. Mistress. Tap. Alright. This is very good. If he plays a pretty wide board here, we can Abyssal Wave for a ton of value. Because an important thing to note is we definitely want to deal some damage, because the way you win against aggro decks is you're just going to control the board, and then eventually you are going to win with a kind of combo kill. Not quite a combo kill, but you'll see what I mean when I get there. Alright, so we're definitely playing. I just want to drag below to prevent this damage. I think I do. So we kind of don't want to kill this because we don't need him to. We don't want him drawing any more cards. Now, important. It is important that Abyssal Curses are not shadow spells, so I will not trigger this needle, which is nice. All right, if your aggro opponent plays the 1 damage curse, you're doing fine. Alright. Let's see. What do I want to play here? I don't really have anything to do. I can coin to get Tamsin going. That does become... No, I have a 1-drop. So, worst case scenario, I can... Oh, but my 1-drop's Mortal Coil. So, what I want to draw here is a touch of the Nathrezim to kill this with, because I did not realize that my Mortal Coil will just fill my hand again. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind losing any of this stuff. The worst one I could lose at this point is either probably Brann or Tamsin, just because I really like having that burst damage. It's not necessary. Of course, whichever one lives is going to be fine. So yeah. Alright, that's fine. Not necessary. Abyssal Wave, more Coil. Get that honorable kill. Felrifs, just applying some pressure. Very, very good. We got that Brann to start killing what we need to.
Rest easy, child. You are safe now.
Another nice thing to have is Brann with your healing and your Za'qul to get more healing. Now the question is, what do I do with this? I'm kind of tempted to just leave it alone, but let's just kill it. Just draw some cards, and eventually we're going to kill him. The Medea, it's going to be annoying, but it's very slow because I have to draw it and then I have to wait a turn to attack. And most of my removal is spell-based, so don't have to worry about that lifesteal. Ooh, do they have another way to kill? Oh, that's too bad. Alright. Alright, let's do a entitled customer here and a Rustrot to get rid of the rest of that damage. Because, it's important. I'll keep my guys alive. So, this is a very odd aggro deck. It seems to be running some other things.
I'm undead, not
Oh,
dead.
it's probably running... Interesting. So, probably for its reach, it's probably running, what's her face? I probably shouldn't have done that, because that's just gonna deal 3 damage, so you can just get it back immediately. Yeah, that's fine. We're really just waiting till we can Tamsin with 2 drag belows. Of course, I do have to draw another drag below. Oh wow, he misplayed.
A mistake.
Yes.
The Queen's trove is forbidden.
Forgot what was going on. But yeah, his hand is very, very full. Alright, so this is a drag below. Okay, you want to see something fun? Let us do Brann into Queen Azshara and get double treasure to get a Ring of the Tides and a Ring of the Tides. We're going to burn a card, but I think this is worth it. Because we're going to deal so much damage with this Tamsin. And he should be able to kill Brann here just by casting a second shadow spell. Hero powering it. Yeah, no. Alright, Brann definitely isn't surviving. So this is interesting. He's like a death rattle priest. So maybe this isn't as aggro as I thought. So I could worry about him having really big heals. That could be a problem in the future. So I'll keep that in mind. He does finish off Brann. We knew that was going to happen. He kind of needed to do that or else we were going to kill him. Alright, I'm actually probably glad I didn't use that. Alright, Tamsin. Drag below. Drag below. Drag below. Hit face. Drag below. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. You need to have, like, things to hit with it. Although, he's up to 10 cards, so actually, let's not play any more drag belows. Look at all that glorious damage. Oh, and we mill his Xyrella. Couldn't have asked for a better play pattern. Yeah. That's brutal. Alright.
Zola versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
All eyes shall be
Alright. Now, Mage is an interesting matchup because there'd probably be a Naga like combo Mage. So, important thing to know about combo Mage is they can get pretty big boards. So your removal is important. Mainly your board wipes. You mainly want your entitled customers, your Abyssal Waves. Entitled customers are really good. Since they did make this deck like a turn slower with the recent Naga nerfs, your entitled customers usually just clear the board. It's super good. Of course, they do want to play a bunch of little spells, so sometimes you don't want to give them targets, but if you're drawing cards, it's usually worth playing. Of course, I assume it could be an aggro mage, could be a mech mage. Mech mage is a bit harder. Okay, I'm guessing this is not a mech mage, possibly a big mage though, which is interesting. Do we run out of Mistress? Yeah, let's run out of Mistress.
No. Trust me.
Might as well. I don't think mages can deal damage to themselves, so. Alright, this is interesting. I am not sure what this person is doing. I'm scared to play Commander Ulthok against them, but we'll see. Mages don't have healing, so it could work out pretty well. Let's just play this treasure guard. What's he need his coins for? Alright, it does look like it is some kind of big mage. Interesting. Alright, this makes that Runthek very scary. A very scary move indeed. I was tempted to play my coin there just so he doesn't try to kill his own guy to, you know, make that a problem. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's a neat little combo you got there. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Alright. Crap. What can I do to stop this? Alright, I need to look for my entitled customer. That's going to be a very important draw if I can get it. Come on, entitled customer.
The Queen's trove is forbidden.
Come on, entitled customer. I don't think Spice Bread Breaker is going to be enough.
Still hot.
I can do this. That's not enough. Yeah. Alright. That's tough. That's a tough matchup.
Out of the oven.
I guess against this really cool mage deck, have your entitled customers. Just proves how important entitled customer is. I didn't draw any. Now when I look back on this, it's gonna be I have one of these in my opening hand, and I just mulligan it. But that's important. But hey, it shows the innovation, and I think that's a good place to end this deck off. So we saw against a control, a bit of an aggro deck, and a bit of a combo deck. So I think that's a fair, wide range of different things. Let's get one final look at the deck. Not that one. This one. So the deck is super fun. This deck is different than some other people's. I like my treasure guards rather than the school teachers. The extra cards are really nice. The taunt is very useful against aggro decks, and that 1 damage, just pinging off those 5 toughness creatures into 4 toughness creatures for your Abyssal Waves is surprisingly useful. I'm trying out Commander Ulthok. You don't have to run him. I just opened a golden version of him, so I really want to play him. And he looks really cool. He is really good to combo into your Intel customers and your Twisting Nethers if you can. Beware around big spells though. Also probably Fell Demon Hunter, just because they can do a lot of burst damage, and you probably don't want to give that to him unless you can get them really low. And that's another thing you can do with him. If you get your opponent down super low, you can just run them out and they can't do anything. Haven't had that be useful yet, but I'm sure it will be eventually. One final note against any, you could say hunters, if they have a secret and you need to clear their board, use your Gigafins instead of your Twisting Nether, because you don't want to get ice trapped. Getting ice trap on your Twisting Nether feels awful, so for those you want to use your Gigafins and entitled customers. If you know that the secret's down, like you play a coin before, then you feel free to use Twisting Nethers, but always be wary of ice trap into your board wipes. That's very important. But yeah, I think that's going to be this video, so see you later.